Entitled parents are giving earrings that my grandma left for me to their golden child while she is pregnant with my ex. This story is so weird. When I, 27F, was 20 years old, I was in a relationship, friends with benefits situation with a guy, now 40M. It was messy, we were on and off for almost 5 years. He was always clear he wasn't ready for a relationship, and I was always clear I was madly in love with him. Every time I got tired of the situation and wanted to leave, somehow he convinced me to stay, because love is free, we have so much time together, he wasn't ready to commitment. I asked advice to my sister, now 42F, and she gave me some crappy advice like made him compromise, leave Sfuff at his place and basically turn him into a boyfriend until it was too late for him to say no. I never managed to do that because I wanted him to love me as much as I loved him, not trap him. During the last nights I spent at his place, he said he wanted to try something more serious with me, talked about some dates he planned, etc. Only to ghost me forever. It was hard. This was the first person I loved, and he treated me like crap. 6 months passed and my sister came home. We both lived with our parents, saying she wanted to introduce her brand new boyfriend. She had have ton of boyfriends, but she said this was the one. It was a dinner only with my parents at our home, so I was excluded and expected to just go out or chill in my room. The day came and while they were dining I ordered a pizza. I came downstairs only to find the guy I was with 6 months prior dining with my parents and sister. I was shocked but paid for my pizza and went to my room again to cry. After dinner was over I confronted my sister in front of our parents and begged her to not be with him. To be loyal to me, her little sister. There was no way she didn't know who he was. I had shown her pictures of him, his social media, where he worked, and she even knew where he lived. They never met because he didn't want to meet my family and never introduced himself. But she knew who he was and she excluded me from that dinner because she knew. She said they met by chance after we stopped seeing each other. She knew how hard that rupture was, she knew how painful it was to not have even a closure. He just stopped replying, not even blocking me, just left me there wondering after 5 years. She knew that during those 6 months, I was still hurting. I know how it was my fault. I was too naive and thought that if I stayed long enough he would be ready for the relationship I wanted, and would learn to love me. Stupid, I know. She defended herself saying it was a coincidence and chemistry was there. She loved him and she wasn't going to lose the love of her life. This stuff only happens once in lifetime. When I was in my early 20s I would believe that, however now I know that there are 8 billion people in this world, there's no one love of your life, you can find the love of your life multiple times if you look for it. My parents sided with her and said I should get over it since we never have a real relationship. 1.5 years had passed. I've been excluded from multiple family gatherings because he would be around and my family thinks I will bring negative vibes since I'm still bitter about everything. I have no feelings for him, but I feel betrayed by my sisters and my parents. He is just a POS in my eyes now. My sister is now 6 months pregnant. Due to her age she had been extremely pampered by my parents. She still lives at home and is going to move with him maybe 2 months after the baby is born. Then they're going to marry. In my culture it is normal that if a woman gives birth moves back, or stay, with her mom so the mom will help with the baby for the first months. A week ago my sister's friends made a surprise baby shower. I happened to be at home. I tried to talk to them, I don't know why, maybe because my sister and I were too close before and I'm sad we're no longer friends. But her friends acted like I wasn't there and only replied to me with, yes, no, or silence as if I was the one that created this mess. Or I was a homewrecker. Or I tried to seduce my sister's man. I was planning to move already, I was saving money etc. But after that I left immediately to a friend's house. I'm in the process of finding my own place. 2 days ago I received a call from my parents asking me to have a talk. I went to their house and they informed me that the diamond earrings my grandma left me will be given to my sisters. Those earrings have been in my family for 4 generations and before my grandma died she said the earrings will be mine and my sister will receive a gold necklace. Grandma trusted my parents with the earrings, there was no will or anything. She just asked to give it to me when I was mature enough to appreciate and take care of a family heirloom. Now my parents think since my sister is getting married first and is having grandma's first great-grandchild my sister should have it. I'm really mad now, they're robbing me of something my grandma left to me. I don't think my parents are evil. I think they were too worried my sister wouldn't marry due to her age. Again in my culture a single woman in her 40s is something to worry for her family, and now that she's forming a family they want to reward her with everything. But I was the closest to my grandma, she made it clear the earrings will be mine, not my sister's, not the first one to marry or have a child but mine. After 2 years of being excluded in favor of my sisters I gave the ultimatum to my parents, they give the earrings to me as my grandma intended or I will cut them from my life forever. Not gonna lie, the idea of cutting my family off is too painful but I feel they already made me and still makes me feel so wrong I don't want them in my life anymore. I feel a little shallow fighting over this but those are only things my granddad left to them that are not entitled to them. Relevant comments. I guess you didn't get any of the jewelry. Your parents and sister showed you what kind of people they are and how they felt about you. Do you still live near them? I would have moved with no forwarding address and cut all ties. If you do get married, I would think twice about letting anyone in your family know about it. If you have children, I think your parents will always treat their first grandchild better. How could your sister have started seeing this man, knowing that he was your ex? Also I think your parents are assholes for going along with this. Is the only reason they didn't care about your feelings is because they wanted grandchildren and were afraid that your sister would be an old maid. OP. They probably were too worried my sister was getting old for babies, and I was only 25, so I had more time. I don't know. Every time I asked why they sided with her without having some sympathy for me, they said my relationship with this man was anything formal. But still, this man was sleeping with me for 5 years straight and then went for my sister. Comment. You need to get a lawyer. Those earrings are your inheritance from your grandmother, and if it's documented in your grandmother's will, they can be sued and charged with stealing. I know you don't want to do this, but your family has already shown you that you don't matter to them at all. Do you honestly believe that they are going to care if you go no contact with them? Don't warn them that you are going to press charges for stealing, though giving you the earrings will magically go missing. I'm sorry, OP, you deserve better, and I hope you stay strong enough to make boundaries that you will be able to stand by. OP. Grandma left no will. She handed her jewelry, and most of them were family heirlooms, to everybody. My grandma was in the 4th generation with them. I was 12 when my grandma died. She gave the earrings to my mom so I could have them when I was ready to take care of them properly. I always thought I would wear them on my wedding day or a very special day. Since I lived with my parents not so long ago, I never asked for them because mom has them in a safe in her room with other important stuff. I don't know if they would care. I think they don't believe they're doing anything wrong handing the earring to the sister that is having grandma first great-grandchild. But if grandma wanted that, she would have stated, the sister that has the first child must receive the earrings. But she said they were mine. Honestly, the entitlement. Comment. OP. Do you have a copy of your grandmother's will that specifically says that you get the earrings? Then take it to court, and if you're feeling especially petty, one of those TV courtroom shows, to make it ultra uncomfortable for your sperm and egg donors. Make sure you have that documentation with you, and any judge worth their law degree will shred your parents' case to ribbons in your favor. OP. There was no will, sadly. Grandma handed all her jewelry while she was alive. Since I was 12, Grandma gave my mom the earrings to save them until I was old enough. Update. So yes, I got the earrings. After my post I went to my parents' house, opened the safe, took the earrings and left. Then after that I went again, told my parents I need time to process stuff and be my own self, and gave their house's keys, and said I was leaving for good. There were some tears from my mom saying she couldn't believe I was such a bitter person. She raised me better. I was turning my back to my family over nothing, and finally that it was shameful that I would leave the family house without being married or anything. So it was never about me or she loving me or anything but social pressure to keep an outdated tradition. My dad was very neutral, gave me a hug and wished me luck. For 2 months nothing happened and I barely had contact with my family, found a place to live, tried to heal, had real fun decorating my new home, your normal stuff. And then everything happened at once. For those 2 months my sister and mom never reached out to me, only my dad sent a text once a week asking how I was, and wishing I was doing well. And then my sister's boyfriend and future husband and also my ex started to follow me on Insta again. I found it weird, but anyway, after all, he's my sister's boyfriend, father of my niece, future brother-in-law, my ex-friends with benefits. Then he started to like my stories and replying to them with heart emojis and, looking good. This happened 3 times maybe? Then I received the voicemail from my mom calling all sorts of names for going after a man that I knew was engaged. This was some kind of revenge over my poor sister, that I was causing her so much stress her blood pressure level was over the moon. I was an inconsiderate femme fatale, and she raised me better. Later I learned through a cousin that my sister took her fiancé's cell phone and found several conversations with several women, including his attempts to talk to me, so of course she went to my mom crying about me trying to steal her fiancé. All messy, to be honest. Less than a week later another voicemail from mom asking me, where the fuck were the earrings? She went looking after them and when she couldn't find them, deduced it was me. She called me a thief. A disgrace. Then disowned me and said they didn't consider me family anymore. I was dead to them. And she will be taking legal actions against me, for being a thief if it was possible. I had no option but to block her and my sister and other family members that sided with them. My dad later texted me to let me know that my mom went nuts and they wouldn't take any legal action. By the end of last month my cousin texted me saying my sister had given birth to my niece. I know I shouldn't, but I did it. I went to the hospital with a gift while wearing my beautiful and fancy earrings. I was kicked out, of course, but it was worth it. I have no plans to see them ever again. Well, maybe my dad. Also my cousin, big gossiper, that girl, let me know my sister is getting married in May so she will have her happy ever after all. But I'm also living my best life right now. Relevant comments. Your father seems like he's the only one who is trying to keep a relationship with you. OP. Sadly, yes. But also I'm glad I'm free to live my life without the burden of people that don't value me. Comment. I'm slightly afraid for your niece. He seems very predatory. I'm sure he will step out again. Men like that don't change. Next time it won't be your fault, but I would block him nonetheless. Happy you are living your best life. Your sis is sure in for a rude awakening. OP. My sister, my mom, him and other family members are blocked from all my social media now and they are private. I'm on low contact with my dad right now, but I hope we can meet again in the future. As for my niece, I don't want to think about that scenario. For sure he's a POS. Played me, then went for my sister, and then wanted to play me again? While my sister was pregnant? While talking with other women. He's a scumbag, but I don't wanna think he can go that way. Comment. Actually you won. You don't have to deal with BS, and to top it off you got the earrings and living your best life. OP. I don't think I lost at all. Yeah, it hurts. I grieved for someone I thought I loved, or loved once, and for losing a sister. But now I'm happy I got to live my life free. Out of that relationship and away from people that don't loves or values me.